Hey fellow enthusiasts, my name is TommyLanham and I am on a mission to break the monotony of the mundane and the mediocre in as many businesses, ministries, marriages, and individual lives as I possibly can through the power of enthusiasm.
Here we go.
I have a secret. Shh. I've discovered a way to predict the future. I'm going to share it with you, okay? The best way to predict the future is to create it. There you go. The best way to predict the future is to create it. But in order to do that, you got to become intentional. You got to become intentional about where you're going, what you're doing, what goals you're going to accomplish. In the words of Zig Ziglar, we got to stop being a wandering generality and become a meaningful specific. And I just want to share with you 4 practices to be able to do that, okay? 1. We got to develop laser focus. Where are we going? That's where the intentionality comes from. It's from that focus. Most people do not have a lack of time. It's a lack of focus. We've all got the same amount of time. There's 24 hours in everybody's day. Why do some people accomplish so much more than other people do? It's because of focus. It's being able to go in the direction that you plan to go and keep on that direction no matter what. You're staying focused. Alright? So the number one way to be able to create your future is to have focus. 2. How do we get that focus? Set some goals. Write them down. Write down some goals. This is kind of a quick description of a process that I teach, but write down whatever you want to be, do, have, and give. Just kind of go crazy. Take several minutes and just write down a long list. But eventually you want to narrow that down. We can't do that whole list. That's the focus part that we just talked about. So you begin to narrow that down to where you just have 1 or 2 goals. Now some people have more than that. Some people are pretty good at this and are able to focus on that. I am not one of those. I need just 1 or 2 goals, 3 at the most, and that's pushing it, that I can focus on. And that's what I call my focus goals. I still have my other goals. I don't throw away those goals. I keep those written down. I go back to them from time to time. But I have my focus goals. And my focus goals are the ones that I set down. I write a plan of action to achieve those goals. And I focus on accomplishing that goal. So what's the best way to predict the future? Get focused. Set your goals. 3. Wake up every morning knowing exactly what you're going to do. How many times do we wake up and we go, oh, what am I going to do today? Or we get to work and we say, oh, what do we need to accomplish at work today? If you're going to get focused and set goals, you're going to wake up every morning knowing exactly what you are going to do. Don't wake up and go, let me think of something to do here today. Know it before you go to bed at night. Know exactly what you're going to do. Get that focus, set those goals, wake up every morning knowing exactly what you're going to do. 4. Be flexible. Okay? You've talked about focus, you've talked about setting goals, you've talked about knowing exactly what you're going to do. Is it that kind of a contradiction, being flexible? We got to be flexible. We need to be focused, but we got to be flexible. Life happens, stuff happens. We've got to make adjustments in that. It does not mean we forget about the goal. It doesn't mean that we drop the goal or change the goal. It just means that sometimes we may need to make adjustments in the way that we go toward that goal. Listen, if you're at work and you're working on a project and your goal at that time is to pour every ounce of energy and effort into that project and you're doing just that and all of a sudden you get a phone call and somebody you love and care about is in a car wreck, does it change that priority? Does it change the focus all of a sudden? You bet it does. You bet it does. What is that? That's some flexibility. That's an extreme case. But the principle is there. We got to be flexible. You want to create your future? You got to focus. You got to set some goals. You got to know exactly what you're going to do when you wake up every morning. And then in the midst of that, you got to have some flexibility. You may learn a better way. You may learn a new way. You may come up against an obstacle that you can't go through, but you can go around, you can go over, you can go under, whatever the case may be. But we got to be flexible. Doesn't mean we forget the goal. It's just sometimes we got to be able to adjust, to be flexible in the way that we achieve that goal and move toward it. There you go. There's the best way to create your future. You can predict the future by creating it through focus, setting goals, knowing exactly what you're going to do when you wake up in the morning, and being flexible in that plan. Why do some people accomplish so much more than other people do? This is it. Successful people have simply formed the habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people will not do. What do successful people do that unsuccessful people will not do? They focus. They set goals. They know exactly what they're going to do when they wake up in the morning, and they're flexible in the midst of those three. Are you ready to form the habits that it takes to move you forward toward your goals? I hope you are, because that very act itself will help you feed your enthusiasm. Hey guys! Remember to subscribe for my YouTube channel. Right now I'm in the process of trying to get up to 100 subscribers. So if you'll help me out in that, I will greatly appreciate it. Again, remember to leave a comment if there's something that I said that resonated with you, or if there's a subject that you would like for me to cover in the future. I would greatly appreciate it. Remember to subscribe. Thank you.